Liam Carter pressed his back against the cold metal wall as three massive students walked past. They did not notice him, or perhaps they simply did not care. He had become good at making himself invisible over the past 2 weeks at the Galactic Academy. It was easier than facing the constant reminders that he did not belong here. The hallway stretched before him like a tunnel of gleaming silver and blue lights. Hundreds of students from dozens of species moved between classes. There were the draconids with their scaled skin and towering frames, the quicksilver runners who moved so fast they appeared as blurs, and the mind weavers whose eyes glowed faintly as they communicated telepathically. Then there was Liam, a human, average height by Earth standards, but small compared to most beings here. His brown hair was ordinary, his build was thin, and his only remarkable feature was the stubborn determination in his green eyes. Earth had joined the Galactic Union just 3 years ago. Humanity was the new species, the untested ones. The Academy accepted only 3 humans this cycle, and Liam was beginning to understand why so few were chosen. His fellow humans, both military candidates named Roger and Diana, had already distanced themselves from him after the first week of training. They wanted to prove humans could compete. Liam was proof that maybe they could not, that he made his way to the combat training hall, knowing what waited for him there. The instructor, a 4-armed being named Instructor Van, had little patience for weakness. The training hall was enormous, with sections for different types of combat. Energy weapons, hand-to-hand fighting, zero-gravity battle, and survival tactics. Liam had failed at all of them. Today was ranking day. All 500 students would see exactly where they stood. A massive display board showed the names and positions. Liam did not need to look at the bottom to know his name would be there. Number 500, dead last. Below him was only empty space that a group of students laughed as they passed the board. One of them, a draconid named Thorn, pointed at Liam's name. "Paper student," he said loudly. One touch and he tears. Others joined the laughter. Liam kept walking. He had learned that responding only made it worse. His small frame could not intimidate anyone here. His human strength was nothing compared to species that evolved on high-gravity worlds. His reaction time was slow against beings who could see in multiple spectrums or predict movements through telepathy. The combat trial began with individual tests. Students fought training robots programmed to match their skill level. Liam faced the easiest setting, and still he struggled. The robot moved with mechanical precision, blocking his punches, sweeping his legs. He hit the mat hard, the impact knocking the air from his lungs. Around him, other students defeated their opponents in seconds. Some fought multiple robots at once. When the trial ended, Liam had the worst score. Again, Instructor Van did not even look disappointed anymore, just resigned. "Carter, you need to improve or you will not survive the proving grounds next month," the instructor said. "I cannot lower the standards for you." Liam nodded. He knew the proving grounds was a survival challenge that every student must pass. 3 days in a hostile environment sector. No exceptions, no second chances. Fail and you leave the academy. Many students believed Liam would not return. After training, he limped to the medical bay. His ribs were bruised from hitting the mat repeatedly. The medical staff healed him quickly with advanced technology that Earth did not yet possess. Physical injuries were easy to fix. The shame was harder to treat. That evening, Liam sat alone in the massive dining hall. Meals were communal, designed to encourage interaction between species. But Liam ate by himself at a corner table. He noticed a small rootkin student struggling to carry a tray with injured arms, likely from training. Without thinking, Liam stood and helped carry the tray to the student's table. The rootkin, a plant-based being named Moss, looked surprised but grateful. "Thank you," Moss said quietly. "Not many notice when others need help here." Liam shrugged. "Seemed like you could use a hand." Moss studied him. "You are the human who ranks last. Why do you stay?" Most beings would leave rather than face such dishonor. It was a fair question. Liam had asked himself the same thing many times. "Because giving up is worse than failing," he said finally. "Maybe I'm not strong or fast, but I can choose not to quit." That night, Unable to sleep, Liam wandered the academy. His curiosity led him to the library archives, a vast repository of knowledge from thousands of worlds. He loved it here. Unlike the training halls, the library did not judge him. He could learn about alien cultures, study their histories, understand their perspectives. While searching through old station blueprints for a class project, he found something odd. A ventilation shaft that led to lower levels not marked on the official maps. The academy had restricted areas, but this seemed different. Forgotten rather than forbidden. His curiosity won over caution. Liam found the access panel and crawled into the shaft. It was cramped and dark, lit only by occasional maintenance lights. He followed it down, deeper into the station than students normally went. The air grew colder. Strange sounds echoed through the metal walls. Finally, the shaft opened into a large chamber. Liam dropped down and found himself in what looked like a containment area. Massive reinforced cells lined the walls. Most were empty, but at the far end, in the largest cell, something moved. Liam approached slowly. His eyes adjusted to the dim light, and his breath caught in his throat at a creature unlike anything he had seen before lay chained in the center of the cell. It was enormous, easily 3 times the size of an earth grizzly bear. Its body was covered in thick fur that might have been silver or gray, matted and dirty. The shape was wolf-like, but far more massive and powerful. Energy restraints bound its legs, and a muzzle covered its jaws. But what struck Liam most were the eyes. They were intelligent eyes. Aware eyes. Eyes filled with pain and rage and something else. Loneliness. The creature noticed him. Its body tensed, muscles coiling beneath the fur. A low growl rumbled from behind the muzzle. This was a predator, a killer, something that could tear Liam apart without effort. Liam should have run. Every survival instinct screamed at him to flee back through the ventilation shaft. But he'd spent 2 weeks being treated as less than others, being seen as weak and worthless. He knew what it felt like to be alone and hurting that he saw the malfunctioning water dispenser in the corner, empty. He saw the wounds where restraints had rubbed the creature's legs raw. He saw nutrient paste in a feeding trough, the kind given to animals rather than thinking beings. "Hey there," Liam said softly, his voice barely above a whisper. "Looks like you are having a worse day than me." The growling stopped. The creature's eyes focused on him with sudden intensity, as if surprised that anyone would speak to it with kindness rather than fear. Liam took 1 step closer to the bars. The security guards found the cell empty of visitors 3 hours later during their routine check. They never knew Liam had been there. He had stayed for an hour, sitting outside the energy barrier, talking quietly to the creature who watched him with those intense, intelligent eyes. When footsteps echoed in the distance, Liam had slipped back through the ventilation shaft. Now, lying in his small dormitory bed, he could not stop thinking about what he had seen. The creature was clearly suffering. The next morning, instead of going directly to training, Liam detoured to the medical supply room. He took basic wound treatment supplies, the kind used for minor training injuries. Nobody questioned him. Students got hurt every day, but he also saved portions of his breakfast. Real food, not the nutrient paste he had seen in that feeding trough. He wrapped it carefully and hid it in his training bag. That day, training was particularly brutal. Instructor Van had them practice zero-gravity combat. Liam tumbled helplessly while other students moved with grace and control. He slammed into walls, lost his orientation, and triggered every safety protocol. Thorn and his friends found it hilarious. Maybe humans evolved in high gravity, Thorn joked loudly. That is why he falls so much here. He is used to being pressed into the ground. The other students laughed. Even Instructor Van looked amused. Liam said nothing, just picked himself up and tried again. By the end of the session, he was covered in bruises despite the padded training suit. But none of it mattered. He had a plan for the evening. After dinner, Liam waited until the hallways grew quiet. Most students gathered in common areas or studied in their rooms. He made his way to the library, then to the ventilation shaft. This time he brought a small light, the medical supplies, and the food he had saved. The descent was easier now that he knew the path. He emerged into the containment chamber and approached the cell. The creature was awake, lying in the same position as before. When it saw Liam, something changed in its expression. Recognition, perhaps, or curiosity. "I brought you some things," Liam said quietly. He held up the water container he had brought. "Your dispenser is broken. Thought you might be thirsty." He placed the container near the energy barrier. After a moment of hesitation, he deactivated the barrier just enough to slide the container through, then reactivated it immediately. It was risky. The creature could attack. But Liam had noticed yesterday that the energy restraints on its body were separate from the cell barrier. The creature was still bound. The massive wolf beast watched him carefully. Then, slowly, it moved toward the water. The restraints clinked as it shifted position. It lowered its muzzled head, and Liam realized the problem. The muzzle prevented it from drinking properly. Without thinking, Liam deactivated the barrier again and stepped inside the cell. The creature froze. Every muscle in its body went tense. Liam could feel the danger radiating from it like heat. This being could kill him in a heartbeat, restraints or not. One swipe of those massive paws would end him. "I'm going to help you drink," Liam said, keeping his voice calm. "I know you probably do not trust me. I would not trust me either if I were you. But you need water, and I can help with that." He picked up the container and slowly approached. The creature's eyes followed his every movement. Up close, Liam could see the details he had missed before. The fur was matted with old blood and grime. The wounds on its legs were infected. This being had been here a long time, suffering with nobody caring enough to help. Liam knelt beside the creature and carefully tilted the container. Water flowed through the gaps in the muzzle. The creature drank desperately, like it had been thirsty for days. When the container was empty, it looked at Liam with an expression he could not quite read. "Better?" Liam asked. "I brought food too. Real food, not that paste they give you." He pulled out the wrapped portions from his bag. Protein bars, fruit, things he had taken from his own meals. He broke them into smaller pieces and fed them through the muzzle carefully. The creature ate slowly, as if savoring each bite. While it ate, Liam examined the wounds on its legs. "These look bad," he said. "I have some medical supplies. Basic stuff, but better than nothing. This is going to sting a bit." He applied the antibacterial treatment to the raw areas where the restraints had cut into skin. The creature flinched but did not pull away. Liam worked carefully, talking the entire time about nothing in particular. About Earth, about how strange it was to be surrounded by aliens, about his terrible performance in training. "I ranked last today again," he said while wrapping clean bandages around one leg. 500 out of 500. Everyone thinks I should quit. Maybe they are right. But something in me just refuses to give up, you know? Even when it makes no sense to keep trying. The creature made a sound, low and rumbling, but different from the growl before. Almost like it understood. Liam finished treating the wounds and sat back. "I do not know what you are or why you are here," he said. "But I know what it feels like to be alone. To have everyone look at you like you are worthless. So I guess I will keep coming back, if that is okay with you. Bring you water and food. Maybe talk a bit. You do not have to respond or anything. Just, you should not have to suffer like this." The creature stared at him for a long moment. Then, deliberately, it lowered its massive head and rested it on the ground near Liam's leg. Not touching, but close. A gesture of acceptance, perhaps, or trust, Liam smiled. "I will take that as a yes. I should give you a name. I cannot keep calling you creature in my head. You remind me of old Earth legends. Wolves and great beasts. How about Fenris? That was a wolf from old stories. Powerful and dangerous, but also loyal. The creature, Fenris, made that rumbling sound again. Its eyes closed halfway, almost peaceful. Liam stayed for another hour, just sitting with Fenris in comfortable silence. When he finally left, promising to return tomorrow, he felt something he had not felt since arriving at the academy. Purpose. He might be the worst student in combat, tactics, and physical ability. But he could do this. He could show kindness to a suffering being. That had to count for something. 2 weeks passed in a rhythm that gave Liam's life meaning beyond daily humiliation in training. Every night, he descended into the containment area. Every night, he brought Fenris water, food, and medical supplies. The wounds on Fenris's legs began to heal properly. The matted fur slowly became cleaner as Liam carefully groomed the areas he could reach. But more than the physical care, something deeper was forming between them. Liam talked, and Fenris listened. Sometimes Liam wondered if the massive wolf beast understood everything he said, or if it simply appreciated the company. Either way, those hours spent in the containment cell became the best part of Liam's day. During the day, things got worse. The proving grounds approached, now just 2 weeks away. Training intensified. Liam continued to fail every exercise. His ranking remained unchanged, 500 out of 500. Other students stopped mocking him directly, which somehow felt worse. They had moved from ridicule to pity, treating him like someone already gone point one night. Liam arrived at the containment cell bruised and limping worse than usual. Instructor Van had paired him against Thorn in combat training. The match lasted less than 30 seconds. Thorn had pulled his punches. Everyone could see it, but even restrained blows from a draconid were devastating to a human. "Hey, Fenris," Liam said tiredly as he slipped into the cell. "Rough day." Fenris's eyes tracked the way Liam moved, noting the injuries. The massive creature made a low sound, concerned and angry at once. "I am okay," Liam said, sitting heavily against the wall. "Just tired. Tired of being weak. Tired of everyone knowing I'm going to fail the proving grounds. Even I know it. How am I supposed to survive 3 days in a hostile environment when I cannot last 30 seconds in a training match?" He pulled out the food he brought, but found he had no appetite. Instead, he just sat there, for the first time since coming here, feeling truly defeated. Maybe everyone was right. Maybe he should quit before the proving grounds and save himself the humiliation of being carried out on a stretcher. Or worse. Fenris moved closer, restraints clinking. The wolf beast positioned himself so that Liam could lean against his side. The fur was thick and warm. Liam found himself talking, really talking about things he had kept inside. "I thought I could make a difference, he said quietly. "Earth is new to all this. We have so much to prove. I wanted to show that humans belong here, that we can contribute. But instead, I am just proof that we are fragile and weak. My fellow humans will not even talk to me anymore. I am an embarrassment to my whole species." Fenris rumbled, a sound that vibrated through his massive chest. Liam felt it more than heard it. "You have been through worse, though," Liam continued, absently running his hand through Fenris's fur. "I found some old records in the library. Took some digging, but I wanted to understand. You're a Lupari, right? A warrior species. You bond with one partner for life. Your bonded partner was General Hawk. She died 2 years ago protecting refugee transports from pirates." Fenris went very still. "You tried to save her, but you could not reach her in time. After she died, you went on a rampage. Destroyed 3 pirate ships by yourself. They finally subdued you and brought you here. The Galactic Union did not know what to do with you. Too dangerous to release, too valuable to execute. So they just chained you up and left you here, hoping you would eventually bond with someone new." Liam felt moisture on his hand and realized Fenris was crying. Tears ran down the wolf beast's muzzled face. In that moment, Liam understood the depth of Fenris's pain. The Lupari bonded for life. Losing that bond was like losing part of yourself. The rage had been grief. The violence had been pain with nowhere to go. "I am sorry," Liam said softly. "I'm so sorry you lost her. I am sorry they left you alone down here to suffer. You did not deserve that. You were grieving and they punished you for it." Fenris turned his massive head and looked directly into Liam's eyes. In that gaze, Liam saw recognition. 2 beings who felt broken, worthless, alone. Different species, different circumstances, but the same core pain. Neither of them belonged anywhere. Both of them were judged as failures. "We are quite a pair," Liam said with a sad smile. "The worst student and the fallen warrior. Nobody wants either of us." Something changed in Fenris's expression. The pain was still there, but also something else. Determination. Decision. The wolf beast made a sound, softer than before, almost questioning. "What is it?" Liam asked. Fenris moved his head deliberately, pressing his muzzled nose against Liam's chest, right over his heart. Then he pulled back and held Liam's gaze. The meaning was clear even without words. A choice. An offer. Liam's breath caught. Are you choosing me? For a bond. Fenris rumbled affirmatively. But I am nobody, Liam protested. I am weak. I cannot protect you or fight alongside you properly. You deserve a warrior, someone strong, someone worthy. Fenris made a sharp sound, almost like disagreement. He pressed his nose to Liam's chest again, insistent. Then he did something that made Liam's eyes widen. Fenris pulled against the restraints, not in rage or escape attempt, but deliberately making noise. Creating a disturbance, alarms began to blare. Fenris had triggered the security protocols. What are you doing? Liam asked, panicked. They will find me here. Fenris simply looked at him with calm certainty. This was deliberate. He was forcing the issue, making the choice undeniable and public. If Liam tried to run, he would make it clear they were bonded. If Liam stayed the same, there was no hiding this anymore. Heavy footsteps echoed in the corridor. Multiple guards running. Liam stood up, his heart racing. He could still escape through the ventilation shaft if he moved now. But looking at Fenris, at the determination and trust in those eyes, he could not do it. Okay, Liam whispered. Okay, if you choose me, then I choose you too. The cell door burst open. 6 guards in full combat armor rushed in, weapons raised. They froze when they saw Liam standing in the cell with Fenris. The massive Lupari's head lowered in a protective posture near the human student. Step away from the prisoner, the lead guard shouted. Fenris growled, a sound that shook the walls. His eyes blazed with protective fury. The message was clear. Touch Liam and face the consequences. The guard's weapon wavered. How did you get in here? What have you done? Before Liam could answer, Fenris spoke. His voice was deep and rough from disuse, but the words were clear and galactic common. Mine, he said, the single word carrying absolute conviction. He is mine. The guard stared in shock. Fenris had not spoken in 2 years, and now his first word was a bond claim on the weakest student in the academy. The High Council chamber was built to intimidate, circular and vast, with seats rising in tiers around a central platform where the accused would stand. Liam stood there now, feeling smaller than ever. Above him sat 7 council members representing the major species of the Galactic Union. Their expressions ranged from confusion to anger to curiosity. Fenris sat beside Liam, still restrained but calmer now. The guards had not dared to separate them after Fenris's declaration. The wolf beast's eyes swept the council, watchful and protective. Elder Reed, the council head, leaned forward. The ancient being species was difficult to identify, something that existed before most current civilizations. Reed's voice was measured and careful. Student Liam Carter, you stand accused of unauthorized access to restricted areas, tampering with containment protocols, and making contact with a dangerous prisoner. How do you answer these charges? Liam took a breath. Guilty of all of them, he said, but I would do it again. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Counselor Vex, a Draconid representative, slammed a clawed hand on his desk. You admit your crimes with no remorse? This creature killed 17 beings during his rampage. He was contained for the safety of all. You risked everyone in this station with your foolish actions. He was suffering, Liam said, finding his voice stronger now. I found him by accident, but once I saw him, I could not just walk away. He had infected wounds. No clean water. He was being treated like an animal instead of a person. I only wanted to help. Counselor Iris, a mind weaver, spoke next. We have reviewed security footage. You visited the prisoner every night for 2 weeks. You brought supplies, food, medical treatment. You spoke to him. Tell us, what was your purpose? Were you trying to turn him into a weapon? Use him for your own advancement? The question stung, but Liam understood why they asked. No, he said. I just saw someone alone and in pain. I know what that feels like. I am the worst student here. Everyone reminds me every day. I thought maybe Fenris and I could at least not be alone together. Fenris? Elder Reed asked. The name I gave him. He seemed to like it. Fenris rumbled in agreement. Counselor Vex stood. The Lupari bonding is sacred. It cannot be forced or manipulated. But this makes no sense. Fenris was bonded to one of our greatest generals. Now he chooses a student who ranks last in every category, a human with no combat ability, no tactical value, no apparent worth. The words hurt because they were true. But before Liam could respond, Fenris moved. The massive Lupri rose to his feet, restraints clinking. When he spoke, his voice filled the chamber. "You see no worth because you measure wrong things," Fenris said. Every council member went silent. "You measure strength in muscles and weapons, speed in reflexes, value in victories. You are fools." Elder Reed raised a hand before the other counselors could protest. "Continue, Fenris. You have been silent for 2 years. We would hear what you have to say." Fenris's eyes swept the council. "My bonded partner, General Hawk, was strong. She won battles and led armies. But you know what made her worthy of my bond? She saw me as more than a weapon. She valued kindness over conquest. She protected the weak instead of just defeating the strong." He turned to look at Liam. "This human has those same qualities. He is the only being in 2 years who looked at me and saw someone worth caring about. Not a tool, not a threat, a person." Counselor Iris studied Liam with glowing eyes. "I must verify there was no manipulation." Student Carter, submit to a mental scan. Liam nodded. He had nothing to hide. The Mindweaver's consciousness touched his own, a strange sensation like fingers brushing through his thoughts. Iris examined his memories of the past 2 weeks, saw him sneaking supplies, treating Fenris's wounds, talking about his own failures and loneliness. Saw genuine compassion with no ulterior motive. Iris withdrew and addressed the council. The human speaks truth. His actions were motivated purely by kindness. He expected nothing in return. He did not even know bonding was possible until Fenris initiated it. That does not change the fact that this pairing is ridiculous, Counselor Vex argued. Fenris is meant for a warrior, not a student who cannot pass basic combat trials. The human will die in the proving grounds, and we will have lost a valuable asset when Fenris goes mad with grief again. "I will not die," Liam said quietly. "Not if Fenris is with me." "You have 2 weeks until the proving grounds," Vex countered. 2 weeks will not turn you into a warrior worthy of a Lupri bond." Elder Reed raised a hand for silence. "The bond has been declared. By Lupri law, which the Galactic Union respects, it cannot be denied or broken. Fenris has chosen. The question before us is not whether to allow the bond, but what conditions to place upon it." The council debated for hours. Liam stood throughout, legs aching, but he refused to show weakness. Fenris remained at his side, a solid presence. Finally, Elder Reed spoke the council's decision. Fenris will be released from containment. The bond will be formalized. However, Student Carter, you will be held responsible for Fenris's actions. Any violence, any loss of control, and both of you will face severe consequences. You will wear a monitoring device that tracks Fenris's emotional state. If he begins to rage as he did before, you will be separated immediately. "He will not rage," Liam said with certainty. "Not while I am here." "We shall see," Elder Reed said. "The restraints will be removed in a formal bonding ceremony tomorrow. Until then, Fenris will remain in a holding cell. A comfortable one with proper care. You may visit him under guard supervision." As guards led them from the chamber, Liam felt the weight of what had happened. The entire academy would know by morning. The weakest student had bonded with the most dangerous creature in the facility. Some would fear him now. Others would resent him. Many would see it as cheating, gaining power he did not earn. But walking beside Fenris, feeling the connection forming between them like invisible threads, Liam knew one thing with absolute certainty. He was not alone anymore. Neither was Fenris. Whatever came next, they would face it together. That night, in a properly equipped holding cell with clean water and real food, Fenris spoke to Liam privately. "You understand what this bond means? I will fight for you, die for you if needed. But I cannot make you strong. I cannot change what you are." "I know," Liam said, "but maybe what I am is enough. Maybe being kind is its own kind of strength." Fenris's eyes gleamed. My previous bonded partner believed that. She was right. I think you're right too. Tomorrow, we become truly bonded. Are you ready? Liam smiled despite his nervousness. Ready as I will ever be. The bonding ceremony happened at dawn in the Academy's ceremonial hall. Ancient Lupari traditions required witnesses, so the entire student body attended. Liam stood in the center of the hall, wearing simple ceremonial robes. Fenris faced him, finally free of all restraints for the first time in 2 years. The massive wolf beast looked magnificent without chains. His silver fur gleamed, properly cleaned and groomed. His eyes held fierce intelligence and unwavering focus on Liam. When the Academy's elder performed the ritual words in the old Lupari language, Fenris responded with vows that bound him to Liam's protection and Liam to Fenris's care. The moment the bond finalized, Liam felt it. A presence in his mind that was not his own. Fenris's emotions flowed into him like a river. Loyalty, protectiveness, fierce pride, and underneath it all, gratitude so deep it brought tears to Liam's eyes. The connection worked both ways. Fenris could feel Liam's determination, his kindness, his fear of failing, but refusal to give up. They were bonded. Truly and completely. The students reacted exactly as Liam expected. Some were afraid. Many were jealous. Thorn and his friends looked at Liam with resentment. The human who ranked last now had the strongest protector in the Academy. It felt unfair to them. Roger and Diana, the other human students, approached Liam after the ceremony. "This changes everything," Roger said. "Humans are going to be taken more seriously now because of you." Or blamed if Fenris loses control, Diana added quietly. "You are representing all of us. Do not mess this up." No pressure, Liam thought. Training became different. Fenris accompanied Liam everywhere, as was his right as a bonded partner. Instructor Van had to adjust combat trials because nobody wanted to fight Liam when Fenris watched from the sidelines, eyes promising terrible consequences for anyone who truly hurt his bonded partner. But Liam quickly made something clear. "Fenris cannot fight for me in the proving grounds," he told the instructor. "The rules allow bonded partners to accompany students, but I will not use him as a weapon. He is my partner, not my shield." This confused everyone. What was the point of bonding with a powerful Lupari if you did not use that power? But Liam understood something others did not. Fenris needed to heal from his trauma. Being treated as a person rather than a weapon was part of that healing. Liam would not undo the progress they had made. The proving ground arrived faster than Liam wanted. He was placed on a team with 4 other students, assigned randomly. The team gathered the night before deployment to plan their strategy. Thorn was on his team. The massive draconid glared at Liam. "Just stay out of the way, human. Let those of us who can actually fight handle the objectives." Iris the Mind Weaver was also on the team. She studied Liam thoughtfully. "You surprised everyone with the bonding. Perhaps you will surprise us again." The third team member was Copper, a gearborn specialist in technology. The mechanical being communicated through electronic sounds, translated by a speaker. "Your Lupari companion interests me. The bond's mental connection fascinates." The fourth was Moss, the small rootkin student Liam had helped in the dining hall weeks ago. Moss smiled at Liam. "I'm glad you're on my team. You helped me when nobody else would. I will not forget that." They were dropped into the proving ground the next morning. The environment was hostile beyond anything Liam had trained for. A volcanic wasteland with toxic gas vents, unstable terrain, and automated defense drones programmed to hunt them. 3 days. They had to survive 3 days while completing objectives and collecting beacon markers. The heat hit Liam immediately. His human body was not designed for this. Sweat poured down his face. The air tasted like sulfur and burnt metal. Fenris stayed close, his larger body providing some shade. Through their bond, Liam felt Fenris's concern. "I'm okay," Liam said quietly. "Just need to pace myself." Thorn took command immediately, which made sense given his combat training. But his tactics were aggressive and reckless. He wanted to charge straight for the nearest beacon marker, claiming glory through speed. "Wait," Liam said. "The map shows unstable ground between here and that beacon. We should circle around." and waste time. Thorn snapped. We move fast and hard. That is how warriors win. But I'm not a warrior, Liam replied calmly. None of us have to be. We just have to survive and complete the objectives. There is a difference between winning and not losing. Thorn ignored him and led the team forward. Within an hour, they triggered a drone patrol. The team barely escaped, losing half their supplies when Thorn's direct assault caused a lava shelf to collapse beneath them. That night, they made camp in a cave system. Morale was low. They had one beacon marker, but at heavy cost. Thorn blamed Liam for slowing them down, even though Liam had warned against the route. Liam sat apart from the others with Fenris. Through their bond, he could feel the Lupari's frustration. Fenris wanted to intervene, to show dominance, and force the team to listen to Liam. But Liam sent calming thoughts back. This was not about dominance. This was about teamwork. Around midnight, Kappa's sensors detected something approaching. Something big. The creature that burst into their camp was a nightmare. A magma stalker, covered in hardened volcanic rock with molten blood that burned the ground where it walked. It was massive, even larger than Fenris, with multiple eyes and claws designed to tear through stone. Fenris immediately positioned himself between the creature and Liam, snarling a challenge. The magma stalker roared back. The two beasts circled each other, preparing to fight. "Stop!" Liam shouted. Everyone froze, staring at him like he had gone mad. But through his bond with Fenris, Liam had learned to read body language in ways he never could before. He saw what others missed. "It is protecting something," Liam said, pointing. Behind the magma stalker, barely visible in the cave shadows, was a nest. Eggs. We camped near its territory. It is not hunting us. It is defending its young. Thorn raised his weapon. Then we kill it and take the nest area. Easier to defend. "No," Liam said firmly. "We move our camp. We do not need to fight. We just need to respect its space. You want us to retreat from a dumb animal." Thorn demanded. Liam met his eyes. "I want us to survive. That thing will fight to the death to protect its nest. Even if we win, some of us will die. Is that worth it when we can just move?" Iris spoke up. "The human is right. I sensed the creature's intent. Pure protective instinct. It will not pursue if we leave." Copper agreed. Tactical analysis supports retreat. Victory probability against this creature, 32%. Casualties, likely. Even Thorn could not argue with those numbers. Reluctantly, the team packed up and relocated. The magma stalker did not follow. It returned to its nest, satisfied that the threat had left as they settled into a new camp. Moss approached Liam. "You saved us. Thorn's pride would have gotten us killed." Liam shrugged. "Just seemed like the right choice. Not everything has to be a fight." But he noticed the way the team looked at him now, with a bit more respect. Maybe being weak was not the only thing that mattered. The final day of the proving grounds brought the ultimate test. All teams received coordinates for the central facility where the last beacon markers waited. The structure was a collapsed research station, half buried in volcanic ash, with malfunctioning security systems and dangerous environmental hazards. Liam's team approached cautiously. Kappa's sensors detected another team already inside, but something was wrong. The life signs were stationary, clustered together. Trapped. Thorn studied the facility layout. Their problem. We go in, grab our beacon, and leave. If they're stuck, that is fewer competitors. We cannot just leave them, Liam protested. Why not? Thorn challenged. This is a competition. Only the strong survive. That is the way of the proving grounds. Liam looked at the others. Iris seemed conflicted. Copper showed no emotional response, being mechanical. But Moss looked troubled. Through his bond, Liam felt Fenris's opinion. The Lupari had no love for abandoning those in need. General Hawk would never have left people to die for a better score. I'm going to help them, Liam said. You can continue to the beacon if you want, but I will not leave people to die when I can do something about it. Fenris rumbled in agreement, standing beside Liam. Thorn laughed bitterly. Of course the weak human wants to play hero. You will fail the proving grounds trying to save others. Is that worth it? Liam thought about it. Really thought about it. He could follow Thorn, let the other team suffer, and maybe pass this test. Or he could be the person he wanted to be even if it cost him everything. Yes, Liam said simply. It is worth it. He turned toward the facility entrance. Moss immediately followed. I am with you, the small rootkin said. You show me kindness when I needed it. I will help you show it to others. Iris hesitated, then nodded. My people value wisdom over strength. There is wisdom in compassion. I will assist. Copper calculated for a moment. Group survival probability increases with cooperation. Logical decision. I will help. Thorn stood alone, frustrated. But as the others moved toward the facility, he cursed in his native language and followed. Fine. But we do this fast. I am not dying for strangers. The facility was a death trap. Automated turrets tracked movement. Floors had collapsed, creating deadly drops into molten chambers below. The life support systems were failing, filling sections with toxic gas. And in the center, pinned down by all of it, was another team. Liam recognized them immediately. Roger and Diana, his fellow humans, along with 3 other top-ranked students. They had tried to take the direct route and triggered every security system at once. Now they were trapped in a central room with no way out. Roger's eyes widened when he saw Liam. You came for us. Of course, Liam said. We are all in this together. He quickly assessed the situation. His team could not simply fight their way through, but they each had different abilities. Liam formed a plan, using everyone's strengths. Copper used technical expertise to hack into the security systems, creating safe corridors through the turret fire. Iris used mental abilities to coordinate everyone's movements precisely, allowing split-second timing. Moss used nature-based powers to create air filters from plant matter, letting them breathe in the toxic sections. Thorn and Fenris provided the raw physical strength to break through blocked passages and carry injured students, and Liam led the operation. Not through combat prowess or physical ability, but through tactical thinking and the ability to see how each person's strengths could work together. He saw patterns others missed. He understood that sometimes the best solution was not the strongest attack, but the smartest approach. They reached the trap team and began extraction. A piece of collapsed ceiling had pinned one student's leg. Thorn and Fenris worked together to lift it while Moss provided medical aid. Copper disabled the turrets, threatening their escape route. Iris maintained mental communication, keeping everyone coordinated. The facility began collapsing around them as they made their escape. Ancient support structures, weakened by years and their intrusion, finally gave way. They ran together, 2 teams united, carrying the injured and supporting each other. They burst from the facility moments before it collapsed completely into the volcanic wasteland. 9 students stood in the ash and heat, exhausted but alive. Roger approached Liam, shame on his face. I avoided you because I thought you made humans look weak, Roger said quietly. But you just showed more courage than I ever did. Thank you. Diana nodded in agreement. We owe you our lives. Both teams shared the beacon markers. Their final scores would be lower than if they had competed alone, but everyone passed the proving grounds. More importantly, everyone survived. When they returned to the academy, the High Council reviewed the trials. Elder Reed addressed the assembled students at the recognition ceremony. Liam stood with his team, Fenris at his side. The proving grounds test your ability to survive hostile conditions, Elder Reed said. But survival is not just about individual strength. The highest-scoring team completed all objectives in record time through ruthless efficiency. They will be recognized for their achievement. A team of elite students stepped forward to receive honors. They looked proud and deserving. However, Elder Reed continued, there is another team we wish to acknowledge. Student Liam Carter and his team scored lower than many others. They sacrificed speed and efficiency to rescue trapped competitors. By our traditional metrics, they performed adequately, but not exceptionally. Liam felt his heart sink. He had expected this. He made his choice knowing it might cost him recognition. But the Galactic Union was not built on ruthless competition, Elder Reed said, his ancient eyes sweeping the assembly. It was built on cooperation between different species, on valuing all beings. on understanding that true strength includes compassion and wisdom, not just combat ability. The elder looked directly at Liam. Student Carter, you entered this academy ranking last in every physical measure. You still rank last. You are not the strongest, the fastest, or the most skilled warrior. But you have demonstrated something equally valuable. You inspire others to be better. You protect the vulnerable. You see worth in all beings, even those others have discarded. Fenris rumbled with pride through their bond. Your bonding with Fenris shocked many. Elder Reed continued. A Lupri warrior choosing the weakest student made no sense. But Fenris saw what we missed. He saw strength of character. The same compassion that led you to care for a suffering prisoner led you to risk failure to save fellow students. That is the spirit the Galactic Union needs. The elder raised his hand in formal recognition. The High Council grants student Liam Carter and his team the Medal of Unity, awarded to those who exemplify cooperation and compassion. This honor is rarely given, as we usually celebrate individual achievement. But you remind us why we formed a union in the first place. The assembly erupted in applause. Not everyone was happy about it. Thorn looked uncomfortable but accepting. But many students showed genuine respect. Even those who had mocked Liam before could not deny what he had done. After the ceremony, Liam sat with Fenris in a quiet corner of the academy grounds. The massive Lupri rested his head on Liam's lap, content. We did it, Liam said softly. We survived. We did more than survive, Fenris replied. We proved that strength comes in many forms. My previous bonded partner taught me that. You reminded me of it. I chose well. Liam smiled. I'm still going to rank last in combat trials. Probably, Fenris agreed. But you will always rank first where it matters most. In courage, in kindness, in seeing the good in others when everyone else sees only weakness or danger. They sat together as the sun set over the academy. Liam was still the weakest student. That had not changed and probably never would. But he had gained the strongest protector through one simple act of kindness. More than that, he had gained a true friend. And he had proven that sometimes the greatest strength is not in being the best warrior, but in being the best person you can be. The other students walked past, heading to their dormitories. Some nodded respectfully to Liam. Others still looked skeptical. That was okay. Liam did not need everyone to understand. He just needed to stay true to who he was. And with Fenris by his side, he knew he could face whatever challenges came next. Together, the weakest student and the fallen warrior had found their place in the Galactic Union. Not through power or dominance, but through loyalty, compassion, and the understanding that every being deserves dignity and care. That was a strength that would never rank last.